There we go. So yeah, recording this so we can come back and watch it after the fact, or for those who haven't been able to attend live. But yeah, today we're going to go over our advanced dive adventures. So these are our trips for students who are already PADI dive certified or scuba certified. So we'll go over each of the trips that we're offering this summer for already certified divers. And then we'll have plenty of time for questions and answers at the end. So if you have questions, you can type them in the Q&A box. That way I'll get to them. If you think of them as we're going over beforehand, go ahead and send them in. And then at the end, we can answer those. If we've already answered some, then I'll let you know.
Great.
Just to start off, we'll introduce ourselves. I'm Bethany. I'm the Marketing and Communications Coordinator here at Broadreach. So you probably gotten emails from me, or if you follow us on social media, that's who I am and what I do. And my co-presenter is Fran.
Yeah, and I've been at Broadreach for a few years now. I am really passionate about diving, and that's kind of how I got to Broadreach. And I now coordinate our international programs and a lot of our diving programs kind of around the world. But I did first start out in our St. Martin programs as a dive instructor on board one of our boats, and kind of worked my way through there until I got to HQ here in Raleigh. So I'm excited to introduce you to our advanced diving programs tonight.
And a special guest, one of our Broadreach pups here. You can see it in the picture.
We got Rosie with us.
If you ever call and hear barking in the background, that's why. It might be one of our dogs joining in the call. So just a little bit about Broadreach. I know a lot of you are already familiar with us, but this year we're excited. We're celebrating 30 years running unique adventure programs for teens. And diving programs have really kind of been at the core of Broadreach from the very beginning. So our first trip was 30 years ago. You can see the little circle there. It was a kayaking trip around the British Virgin Islands. And actually our current owner is in the picture there. He was one of the students on the first trip. So you can see him here. And then that's our founder over there to the right. So it's kind of cool. But we've been running trips all over the world. You can see marked in the little green markers there, the locations where we're running programs this summer, in summer 2023. But we've run trips through the Red Sea, Palau, the Philippines, Fiji, Bali, throughout the Caribbean, all sorts of different places throughout our 30-year history. Over the years, our trips have become a little less rustic than the first kayaking trip, but we still stick to those same core principles of sparking curiosity and courage in our students.
And then we're going to talk a little bit about the certifications that are available on some of these programs that we're talking about this afternoon. All of these programs are advanced diving trips. So that means that all of the students will need to be open water certified before they join us. And this just really opens up a whole world of different diving possibilities to them, where they can earn up to their master diver certification, depending on the program length and the time that they have. And I think these programs really help to build confidence underwater and help them to become really accomplished divers. And we generally work towards mastering skills within specialty certifications. So you can see a few that we offer across our programs. So things like deep, rec, fish ID, drift, and night are really popular with our students, and also again kind of help them to become better divers. And all of our dive programs are always underpinned with marine conservation and ocean stewardship in mind, and helping our students to think about those things in the future, and how they can make a difference as well in their day-to-day lives. Then
yeah, one of the things that makes diving on Broadreach so special are our instructors. Our instructors are awesome. They're a really diverse and a fun bunch. We're proud that over 50% of them typically will return from one year to the next to join us all around the world to lead our adventures. Each instructor is professional and is a true expert within their field. And we also look for instructors that are passionate and excited to share their knowledge and expertise with their students. So kind of both of those pieces together. All of our instructors attend a week or about a 10-day long training program with us at the beginning of the summer. And we cover everything from safety and risk management to group dynamics, to managing logistics, to games and Broadreach's core values. Our instructors encourage students to challenge themselves and also give them flexibility to explore new places and experiences all the while. For our dive instructors, all of our scuba instructors are PADI professionals, and we follow all the PADI procedures and guidelines when teaching diving on Broadreach. And in many cases, we actually take even more of a conservative approach than what is required. So, for example, with dive ratios, the students to the instructor, we err on the side of caution for those things to try and minimize risk as much as we can on our diving programs. Now with that said, let's go and start looking at our advanced dive trips this summer.
Yeah, we are going to start off with our Bali and Komodo. This is our alumni-only program for this summer. It is actually already full. We had quite a run on it in the last couple of weeks, and it has filled up. But I do just want to talk a little bit about it just briefly. And then if anyone is interested, then feel free to give us a call and we can get you on a wait list. You never know, things change, spots open up and things like that. So if this is for you, definitely give us a call and we can get you sorted for that. But this program is a program that's particularly close to my heart, having done my instructor course in Bali quite a few years ago now. But we're really excited to be bringing it back after a couple of years. It's a really great program that is unique, where we explore the Balinese culture along with one of the best diving destinations in the world, especially because it is so diverse. So on this program, students get to see things like hunt for frogfish and pygmy seahorses on macro dives and muck dives, but then also see, say, manta rays and sharks and turtles. So it is really an incredible experience. The first week is based in Pamutran in Bali, where they'll stay at a small boutique resort and go out diving every day on one of the local boats that you can just see in one of the pictures in the corner there. So they head out. They'll also learn about the conservation efforts that the local community are putting into keeping their beaches clean and tidy and helping to clean up the reefs underwater. There's then a cultural portion in the middle where they go to Ubud, and it's like nestled right into the rice paddy fields, and it's really beautiful. And they'll visit some temples and do some hikes and things like that, all before heading off to the Komodo National Park to join a liveaboard for that last week of the program. Which is really like, you can't access a lot of these dive sites without being by boat. So it's really a great experience to see somewhere different in the world. But if you do have more questions about that trip, then please let us know and we can get you on a wait list for it.
And hopefully we'll be running in 2024 as well. But
yes, we hope so. Maybe more sessions. So popular. We then have our Red Sea Advanced Scuba. This is another trip that is great for the adventurous traveler. We've been running trips in Egypt on and off for the last 20 years. We come a long way from our first programs with camping and with the Bedouin tribes in the desert, but it is still a really program that is like up close to our roots and our hearts for sure. We are running 2 sessions of this program this coming summer. The second session is limited. It's getting to around, it's about half full at the moment, but we still have space in both of them. So on this trip, it follows, so the students arrive and we spend the first week in Master Alam, staying at a small eco lodge, and we go out diving every day, and this is where we start to work towards our certifications for the program. The students can earn their advanced open water, and they do certifications like deep, night, and enriched air, so nitrox as well. We get to explore a lot of the reefs, some famous ones too, like Dolphin House. You can see in the picture there that the last couple of summers our students have been really excited and really lucky to go diving with dolphins on these trips. So that's definitely a big highlight from there. We then split the program up and we spend a couple of days in Luxor in the middle, which is where we do our cultural portion of the program. We visit some of the temples like the Karnak temple, we visit the Valley of Kings, and they also take a traditional boat ride down the Nile at sunset, and really get to explore everything that is Egypt's like rich and ancient culture and history. And we do all of that with a local guide as well. So someone there to help to interpret for us, but also answer all of our students' questions and our staff's questions, and kind of explore everything with them. The next part, of the last part of the program, the students go and they stay on a liveaboard boat. You can see the boat that we had last summer up in the corner there. So it's a big motor yacht around 36 meters. And while they're on that boat, the students go diving every day. There is a dawn dive, an after breakfast dive, a morning dive, and sometimes an evening or lunch dive as well, an afternoon. And that boat really takes them around all of the really famous dive sites that Egypt and the Red Sea is known for. So they spend the day diving the Thistlegorm wreck, and get to learn about their wreck specialty, and do some penetration of the wreck as well, and also just generally explore those dive sites that otherwise can't be reached by boat. All of our students have always loved it, and they come back with so many amazing photos of the corals and the fish and the marine life and everything that they see on there. The key thing about this program is that there are direct flights from New York to Cairo, which makes getting to Egypt really easy for our students for that trip. So we have that one. Then moving on, we then have our Bonaire rescue diver. This is a really great program for students that don't have much time in the summer but love diving and want to kind of carry on with their certifications. So on this trip, again, you have to be open water certified, but you can earn all the way through to your master diver. So that means that you will do your rescue, your EFR, and a couple of specialties as well while you're with us. So it's a really packed program, and it is the only trip outside of our Caribbean liveaboard programs where we offer the rescue diver course. It's completely land-based, so the students stay at a villa. The villa is based right on the ocean, so they have their own personal dive site out front, which really makes it perfect for doing night dives and learning about rescue and doing all those surface skills that kind of go along with that. It's not just all diving. We spend a lot of time exploring the island of Bonaire. We go hiking at the national park. You can sometimes spot flamingos on the salt flats, and we explore all the different kind of bays and beaches, all for shore diving throughout the program. We hang out with the donkeys at the donkey sanctuary, and we try our hand at windsurfing as well. So we spend some time learning about coral conservation and also helping to outplant and clean some staghorn corals and all different things that are taking place in Bonaire. So you can see our students in that picture there taking part in that. So they learn a little bit about those efforts that are happening. Some key things about this program that make it quite unique is we take a maximum of 8 students. So it's a really small, tight-knit group that are learning and living together in Bonaire. And it's also really easy to get to from Miami as well. So it's just a direct flight out there, which is really great. But we're really excited about that one in particular. And I think it's just really cool how they get to experience the island, and the instructors kind of drive them around to each dive site. So they'll often decide which dive sites are their favorites and then like go back there towards the end of the week. And so they really get to explore the island.
Yeah, had some amazing pictures from our trips from this past summer. So it's hard to choose just a few.
It really is. Next up, we wanted to talk a little bit about our liveaboard programs and the advanced diving options there. So we have a 21-day advanced scuba program based out of St. Martin. This is a great trip for someone that maybe did a 12-day last summer and wants to explore more of the Leeward Islands, or is just kind of already open water certified, and it's like a great easy location to get to. And over those 21 days, the students work their way through their advanced open water, their EFR, which is that first aid course that goes along with it, their rescue, and then 5 specialties, including deep, night, emergency O2 provider, and nitrox as well. And so on this program, we really get to visit all the islands and really experience it. So they visit Anguilla, St. Bart's, St. Kitts and Nevis, Statia, and Saba. And I think the really cool part of this is that each island is just so different, from like Saba being the highest peak in the Netherlands to body surfing beach in St. Bart's, hiking a volcano in Statia. It's just really incredible. And this program is open to both middle schoolers and high schoolers. So we have 2 separate boats for those 2 age groups that go out each summer. And so for those 3 weeks, your boat is your floating home, and you and your crewmates are responsible for getting the boat underway, raising the sails, mooring, anchoring, and doing all of that cool stuff, along with learning how to dive, learning and becoming a more experienced diver, and also seeing all the different islands as well as you go through. And they spend a little bit extra time in Sabre, which is one of our students' favorite spots, exploring all the different dive sites that are there, and just kind of really becoming immersed in the marine park and everything that they do there. Cool. Next up is a program that we are incredibly excited about here at Broadreach. It's pretty new to us and also new to PADI as well, and that is our Junior Divemaster program. This is a pretty exclusive trip, and PADI only just kind of released it in the last year or so. And through the 21 days, students really start to take on the next level of diving and start to learn about how to teach others. So this is the only trip where students have to already be rescue certified. So it's a much higher level program. And on this program, they start to think about planning dives and dive setup and management, and kind of learn how to show their diving skills at a demonstration level, with the idea being that they could then move on in the future to maybe becoming a dive master and becoming a PADI professional in particular. This trip is definitely for the student that is a really keen diver and wants to progress with their future certifications. We also focus some time on some unique specialties that we don't offer elsewhere, such as search and recovery, which is a really cool certification for them to do, where they learn how to use lift bags and search patterns underwater, and all sorts of things like that. This program is based out of St. Martin again, and follows a similar route to some of our other trips. So through Anguilla, St. Kitts and Nevis, Sabre and Statia, before returning back to St. Martin. And like I said, this really will give students the taste of becoming a professional diver, and really starting to make them look out for other divers in the water, and learning how to lead dives and things like that. So it's new to us. We ran it last summer, so we had 3 junior dive masters last year, and we are really excited to have more again this summer. And it's about half full already for next year. So we're excited about. We then have our St. Lucia and the Windwards 21-day advanced scuba program. This trip is available for both high schoolers and middle schoolers. For middle schoolers, it is our Alumni-Only program. We generally take 8th graders. We have been known to mix it with 8th and 9th graders, and we do sometimes make the odd exception for alumni families or students that are really experienced divers. But for high school students, it is open enrollment as well. This trip, we only send 2 boats down to St. Lucia in the summer, so it's a little more exclusive. It's definitely a little bit more off the beaten track. The islands are very different to the Leeward Islands, so although a lot of the program will feel quite similar to a trip based in St. Martin, the islands are stunning. They are very beautiful. They're generally a little bit more wild and have a more Caribbean flair to them. So on this program, students start out in St. Lucia for the first session, and we work our way through to Grenada, and they will do their advanced certification, rescue, EFR, and then some specialties as well to go along with that. So really on that master diver track. For this trip, it's not just diving. They will get to hike the pitons in St. Lucia, and you have an incredible view out over the island. We snorkel with turtles in the Tobago Keys Marine Park, buy local tropical fruits from the fruit market in Union, dive the sculpture garden in Grenada. And it really does allow the students to have a little bit more flexibility within the program. The students will often help to choose dive sites and look out for places that they want to go. And it's all well, it's just an amazing program that is just like a little bit off that beaten track for this trip. The later session starts in Grenada and then works its way back to St. Lucia. So it flops around the other way on the way back, but we're excited about that. As always, it's a really popular program with alumni students who have done a program in St. Martin before, but they really love boat life and enjoy sailing, but want to try a different area in the Caribbean. Flights to St. Lucia and Grenada are all really simple. There's direct options out of Miami and New York as well. So it's quite easy logistically as well for families to get to. Thanks.
Awesome.
Oh, we did just want to mention this program at the end, our Fiji Shark Studies trip. Although it is an advanced diving program, so students do have to be open water certified to join it. It's a little bit more of an academic trip, and it focuses a lot more on shark studies and marine biology. So it is here as an option, but it's really more of a marine biology and academic focused program.
Yeah, threw it in there because you have to be certified for it, but yeah, so if you're interested in Fiji shark studies, feel free to give us a call if you have questions about it. Or we also have a webinar coming up. The next one, October 27th at 4, is about our marine biology adventure. So we'll talk, go into more depth about the Fiji shark studies and our other marine bio trips. Then we've got another one on about our vet med and wildlife conservation trips on November 2nd. And then we have one for more beginner divers or kind of, new to diving families on November 9th. So if you have any younger siblings or maybe friends that haven't started scuba diving that would be interested, we've got that one coming up as well. So while you think of any questions and put them in the Q&A box, just want to let you know, we do have a special promo code for those of you here now with us live or watching the recording of this for $250 off your program tuition. The code is there, and that's just for the next couple weeks, so through the 18th of October. If you're ready to sign up, then just keep in mind the deposit right now is currently $1,000 to secure a spot in the trip. So you just fill out your application online. The deposit is also completely refundable until January 15th. So if you're not sure, you're waiting some, find out dates or things on your schedule, you do have until January 15th to, if you have to cancel for whatever reason. And if you need to switch trips or sessions before then or after then, we're happy to help you with that as long as there are spots available. Let me see if there's any questions. We've got one about travel. Friend, is there a recommended or required flight for any of these trips?
Yeah, so for the Red Sea and Bali, we have a required flight for these trips. So that means that all the students will be on the same flight. For Bali, there would likely be an option out of New York and both out of LA, and there will be an instructor on that flight. And that one, they connect in Singapore or somewhere like that, and the instructor will be there to help them. For the Red Sea, we have a required flight for this program out of JFK, like I said, to Cairo. So it's a really easy connection for families, and all the students will be on that same flight, and we will give you all those details. They then meet their instructors in Cairo and do a short hop flight to Hurghada with their instructors. But we would give you all those details ahead of time, exactly the flights and everything like that. But it makes traveling just a little bit easier and kind of takes the stress out of it for our students, that they know that they'll be traveling with their other students that are all on the trip together.
And also we will send them, as we always do, the enrollment t-shirt, the Broadreach Fran and I are actually wearing. We just got them in yesterday, so we're excited to unveil those for everyone today. Right, let me see if there's any other questions. I don't see any more coming in. So yeah, feel free to reach out to us. Fran's email is there, so she's a good go-to person for some of these advanced dive trip questions. So she coordinates them. Otherwise, feel free to reach out to us by phone. Any one of us in the office will be happy to help you out or forward your call to the person who can. Our number is there. And yeah, thanks for attending today to listen to us talk about our advanced dive trips.
Yeah, thank you for coming to listen to them. And like we said, if you have any questions at all, then just let us know.
Bye.
Bye.